Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Harder Survival in Space Engineers. We're gonna start like we did we ended the last episode in the car. So that's where we're gonna stop ourselves and start there. Sorry, lost my train of thought there for a second. We're just gonna work on the base this episode mainly. We'll work on the base and be mining. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Working on getting walls up so I can actually, breathe and all that fun jazz. So that's what we're slowly gonna be working on. So I hope you guys have a good day, or having a good day, or night, or whatever it is. My car is slowly coming together. It's got a drill on it. I'll be able to use that this episode to help me gather resources just a tiny bit faster. I don't have an official mining vehicle yet. This is just basically a hodgepodge vehicle. It's got my only source of respawn on it, so I have to keep it powered, and I can't let too much happen to it because it's got the only source of oxygen I got too. So it's really like besides until I build a sealed place for my base, it's pretty much the only place I got that's got oxygen. There we go. Said the word wrong for a second. So this car that I'm using as my mining vehicle is basically the most important vehicle I have at the moment. It's like the most important thing I own. Everything else I can get back in my base, but if I lose that survival kit, I basically have to start all over. And potentially make my way all the way back over here, which will be not fun. So that's fun. So we're just slowly just building up the base. So make sure we have enough resources to enclose it. Sorry guys, had a yawn there. Anyways, we're trying to enclose the space, put a vent. Well, actually, we're probably going to either put a connector and a vent on two sides of the connector, and that's probably going to be how we connect our base to the outside world. Could connect it to an oxygen bottle to make sure we have plenty of oxygen, but don't really need it when I could just keep draining oxygen from the atmosphere. So I'm just focused on making my base, trying to figure out how long I want it. Then I decide I don't want full blocks, those cost more, so I decide to switch to the half blocks, which cost much less. It's what I'm eventually going to be doing. First I placed the wrong set of blocks. I placed what are they called? The inverted corners that have like a little slice taken out of one corner. Place those down instead of full blocks, and then it's after that I decided to go with half blocks to give me more room and use less iron, slightly less iron. So yeah, that's what we're working on. Just slowly but surely building and making me a base and running and doing mining runs. That's basically what this episode is gonna be. I know y'all didn't really sign up for that, but that's what we're doing. So about plans, what I plan to do for this lovely series. So I eventually got to make a mine. So gonna need a road. Make a road to the mine. I'm going to have to explore to get magnesium, which I have no clue how far it's going to be away. And I need to find either an ice lake or a big ice underground so I can have enough hydrogen to get off this planet, which is also going to be a whole challenge in and of itself. So we shall see, we shall see. That's all future plans. Right now we're just focused on trying to survive. And not die of oxygen deprivation, but we're dying of thirst. Always dying of thirst, because I have no way of gaining water right now. The only way to get like food and water is to get the unknown signals, and even that is barely enough for to keep me. It's not really enough to keep me alive, so really I need to get the water reclaimer, and that I could put the wastewater in and get some water back. Eventually I'll slowly lose water, and it can get water out of ice. So it's gonna be a whole process and a half just to get to the point where I'm not constantly dying, just nearly constantly dying. Of course, I'm going to need a double set of doors so I can properly go in and out without losing all my air all the time. So, for my realism overhaul, I think I'm just gonna go all in. Even though I've never played with the mod that's now in the new version, Principia, I should just go all in and play with it. But then again, I never played with Principia, but it can let me do some interesting things I couldn't do without it. Principia changes how the orbits in KSP works, basically. Like, it does the persistent thrust, like your spin stabilization continues to happen even when you're warping. It does that, but it makes the orbits in KSP work more like orbits in real life. Which means you could do Lagrange points. You could find a point in space that you orbit in space, and your spacecraft will stay there. But you can kind of do that in vanilla KSP, kind of too. Just put your rocket in an orbit that's slightly smaller than Kerbin, get it to where you want it, and then match the orbit back to Kerbin, and now your satellite will permanently stay in front of Kerbin. Or you could use the Lagrange points, which are easier to get to, so yeah. I decided that I'm gonna put my industrial stuff in its own contained area, because I can't really contain it with the connector, so I'm gonna just have that be my industrial area. So that's what I'm planning on doing, and then this be my main base. So that's my current plan. I mean, I have a somewhat of an, as I said, I have a lot of iron boulders, so I kind of have the iron for this and kind of don't. Means my industrial section will be safer, hopefully. Because my base will be light armor, and I'm going to put a heavy armor roof on top of my industrial section. That way it's got more safety from being bombed by reavers. Hopefully. Hopefully it does anyways. But we'll still see. As I said, I shouldn't have to worry about reavers for a little bit. They shouldn't be coming at me for quite a while, considering I'm still technically in the beginning stages. And I haven't been here that long, so they shouldn't be coming after me, but yeah. Well, that's, as I like to say, that's a problem for future me. It's okay, eventually I'm always become future me. Future me will curse past me, but, you know, it's still future me's problem. I'm just trying to decide how I want the bait to kind of look. As I said, using what little jetpack I have to kind of rotate it and do weird stuff with it. So that's just me fiddling around with stuff. And then I've just right now just trying to get a area set aside so I can at least somewhat have a safe place. It's gonna take quite a while to get enough iron to put all this together, especially in this harder version of Space Engineers. You don't get as much ore as you normally get, and you don't, and stuff takes longer, so it's a fine balancing act. Although I get more than Splitsy does, because I changed the values that Splitsy gets, like, for every one ore he mines, he gets like a quarter of an ingot, and I get, for every one I mine, I get like half. I get like double what he gets, but I don't get the full amount either. I'm like half, I think, of what you're supposed to get. Or like less than half, like I'm like, because Splitsy has it set like a quarter or something, or like even lower, and then I have like double him. It doesn't make mine much easier. I still can't jump, so I still need to have scaffolding, and I still need to build maybe like a crane or a forklift or something. So I'm looking forward to having to build something like that. Maybe I will make one of those like scissor lifts. but with 2 pistons on a rotor. On a double rotor, actually. We shall see. I don't know what I'm going to do. But right now, just getting oxygen, and had to cut out a bit of someone asking questions right there. But so I'm gonna go mining. I'm gonna use my drill, I think, for the first time. I'm gonna use my drilling ship as the actual drilling ship. So that's what we're gonna go do. Get me a load of iron to help build my base. Instead, I might, after this, play a game with Baldwin before I start working on my KSP stuff. I'm gonna live stream KSP, and then I'm gonna have to download the live stream and edit it, which is what I do here. I live stream Space Engineers, and then I edit it for YouTube. Live stream on Twitch. Maybe I'll post the link actually in the description. I'll sure remember it this time. And we'll see. Sun's coming up right when I start mining. So, woo, I got power coming to my vehicle at least, and, you know, it's usually hooked to the base where the base has power. So, hopefully with both these things going on, I don't have to worry about my vehicle running out of power and me potentially just losing my only respawn point, considering how often I die. Usually of thirst, because I don't die of oxygen anymore like I used to. Now I die of thirst. I've yet to die of hunger. I'll probably start dying of that once I actually get a good source of water. Start dying of thirst. So we're going to drive back and drop off this load of iron. I'm thinking maybe of extending the cargo of this basically put together mining ship and add another medium cargo container. Or I think it's a large, yeah, because you can only put small and large cargo containers on a small grid. So it's actually a large cargo container. I think if I put that, another one on, maybe it'll make my life a little bit easier, because then I can carry even more resources. But we shall see, we shall see. We shall see. First we gotta hook up and start dumping all the iron off. This video won't be as long as the other ones. I think it's like just under 30 minutes. It's like 29 minutes. I think it's like just over 29 minutes, so got like 10 minutes left with 19 minutes in. Yeah, I'll have to listen to me for much longer. My KSP videos, though, will probably be longer, I would say, for me instead of y'all. Like, for y'all, an episode of KSP is like 40 minutes, but I only played for that, basically that 40 minutes, unless there's a lot of mining, in which case I speed up the mining, but still, that only usually takes away like at most 5 or so minutes. So, yeah. So, at most you'll watch a 40-minute video and I will have played maybe 45 minutes of it. Or maybe an hour goes into a 40-minute video. KSP is not like that. KSP I basically play for 4 hours and you guys get like an hour. Because especially once you get into orbit and you start going to places like the moon and stuff, or Mars, that's just me just sitting there watching this, well, with a realism overall, not really watching the thing, but basically it's me just doing all of this work and you guys see like 40 minutes of it. Minecraft's kind of like that. If there's a big grind, if there's grinding in the episodes where I did a mining montage, usually I'll mine for like an hour or two, and that correlates into like maybe 5 minutes of the video when you compress it all down to like 4 times speed. Maybe 5 if it's a really big one. So yeah, more time poured into those than almost a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm dying of oxygen deprivation, and because I don't have oxygen in my base yet. Almost made it. I almost made it to my rover, but not quite. Not quite. I'm hoping the magnesium isn't too far, as I have some boulders, so I can at least equip my base to kind of defend itself with all the magnesium I got. But and hopefully I could get just enough to maybe build some defenses, or at least a defense on my rover, so my rover can defend itself. But then I'd have to make it longer because it would need a cargo container pointing up so I could put a turret up top. So don't know. Don't know what I'm supposed to do with. Yeah, we're gonna have to slowly weld this base up. Then I'm gonna go play some games with Baldwin, most likely, and then decide what I want to do with my KSP series. Because I already have it set up. I have a new game set up, and I basically haven't really played. So I could easily start. Like, I did all the work for it, installed all the mods, got the new game, got the things set up for that. Problem is I turned off one of the key fixtures of RO. You're supposed to play on the difficulty where you buy every part, and I took that part off. Like, once I researched the node, I have like basically all of the parts. I took away some of the difficulties because I don't have to worry about as much money coming out now. So maybe I'll start a new game, or use that game to test some stuff for RO. Turn it into a creative save. Test some things on that version real quick. Then start a new version to start streaming and loading onto YouTube. Which would be harder. I think that's what I'm going to maybe do. But let's talk about what's currently going on. Yes, I'm just rambling. Just gotta go mining again. Got lots of iron. Even using half blocks, I'm still running out of iron. Usually I only have to go mining like for iron like once or twice in regular Space Engineers. Like usually once I go mining for like an actual deposit of iron, usually that's it. I don't usually need to go mining again for quite a while. Usually that's enough to build a basic base, but I do have the inventory a little lower than I normally do, so that's also not, or a little higher. I can't remember. It might be about normal. But yeah, all this iron is going to just building a base. I'm gonna probably eat. As I said, I know of 5 iron boulders. I'm probably gonna eat like 1 or 2 of them by the time I'm done with all the stuff I need to build. Alright, we mined a good like quarter of this boulder. Now we're gonna go back and dump it off. And we're nearing the end of this episode, so that's good. That's good as dandy. Yeah, I'm passing, I think, another set of boulders is relatively close by to that set I went to. And then most of the other boulders are kind of away from each other. So, that will be fun. Dump everything off. That's what I'm going to have to do. Dump all the iron off. Lock in. Be done with it. Gonna see, make sure everything's actually going over. Yeah, everything's actually going over. And checking my build. Make sure everything's good and dandy. But yes, hopefully next couple of episodes I'll actually have a full base done. But it probably will take me quite a while. This place has got like 1 battery. So I probably will eventually need to put another battery down. Also should probably put another battery down on the vehicle I'm using as my mining vehicle, my scouting vehicle, basically my everything, and is what is basically my respawn point. Should probably put another battery on it. Probably. Yeah, problem for future William. I like making things future William's problem. Alright, with this we need to we're starting to run out of time, so let's probably gotta end the episode here soon. Gotta just check a few things. See what resources I'm missing out of if anything out of everything. And run around like a chicken with its head cut off. But we're gonna go ahead and hop in the car and call it here. Bye!